Anxiety is something most of us face at some point, whether it's the knot in your stomach before a big meeting, the racing thoughts at 2 a.m., or the overwhelming sense of uncertainty about the future. In 2025, with constant notifications, global challenges, and personal pressures, anxiety can feel like an uninvited guest that never leaves. But what if there was a way to not just cope with anxiety, but to transform how we experience it? That's where Stoicism comes in, a philosophy from ancient Greece and Rome that's surprisingly practical for today's chaos. Stoicism, founded in Athens by Zeno of Citium around 300 BCE, teaches us how to live well by focusing on what we can control and letting go of what we can't. It's not about suppressing emotions or pretending everything's fine. It's about building mental resilience to face life's challenges with clarity and calm. We'll explore Stoicism's core principles, how they apply to anxiety, and specific techniques you can use today to find peace amidst the storm. Whether you're new to Stoicism or looking to deepen your practice, this guide will offer actionable steps to manage anxiety effectively. Why does this matter? Because anxiety isn't just a feeling, it can shape our decisions, relationships, and quality of life. By applying Stoic wisdom, we can shift from being overwhelmed to being empowered. Let's embark on this journey together, exploring how a 2,000-year-old philosophy can help us thrive in 2025. What is anxiety, and why do we feel it? Anxiety is our mind's response to perceived threats or uncertainties. It's rooted in our biology. Our ancestors needed anxiety to survive predators or scarcity. Today, though, the threats are often less tangible. Deadlines, social expectations, or fears about the future. In 2025, technology amplifies this. Social media bombards us with comparisons, news feeds fuel worry about global events, and our always-on culture leaves little room for mental rest. The result? A constant hum of unease that can escalate into overwhelming anxiety. From a Stoic perspective, anxiety arises when we focus on things outside our control, other people's opinions, future outcomes, or past mistakes. The Stoics, like Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus, and Seneca, believed that our suffering comes not from events themselves, but from our judgments about them. Epictetus famously said, "It's not things that upset us, but our opinions about things." When we catastrophize about a work presentation or obsess over what someone thinks of us, we're adding layers of distress that the event itself doesn't create. At the heart of Stoicism is the dichotomy of control, a principle that's like a mental filter for anxiety. It's simple but profound. Focus only on what you can control: your thoughts, actions, and attitudes, and accept everything else as it is. Let's break this down with an example. Imagine you're anxious about a job interview tomorrow. You can't control the interviewer's decision, their mood, or even the traffic on the way there, but you can control your preparation, your mindset, and how you present yourself. By focusing on these, you channel your energy into what's productive and let go of the rest. This doesn't mean ignoring reality. If the traffic is bad, you might be late, but worrying about it won't change the outcome. Instead, a Stoic would plan ahead, leave early, and accept that the rest is out of their hands. This shift in focus reduces anxiety because it stops the mental spiral of what ifs. Why Stoicism fits our modern world. You might wonder, how can an ancient philosophy help with 21st century problems? Stoicism's strength is its universality. It doesn't rely on external circumstances. Whether you're a Roman emperor like Marcus Aurelius or a stressed-out freelancer in 2025, the principles apply. In a world of information overload, Stoicism offers clarity. In a culture obsessed with outcomes, it teaches us to focus on effort. And in an era of uncertainty, it provides a framework for inner stability. Consider the rise of doom scrolling on platforms like X. We're bombarded with news about climate change, economic shifts, or global conflicts. Stoicism doesn't tell us to ignore these issues, but to ask, what can I do about this? Maybe it's voting, reducing your carbon footprint, or supporting a cause. By focusing on your actions, you reclaim agency and reduce the helplessness that fuels anxiety. Common misconceptions about Stoicism. Before we dive into techniques, let's clear up some myths. Stoicism isn't about being emotionless or detached. Marcus Aurelius wrote passionately about love, duty, and gratitude. It's about feeling emotions without letting them hijack your reasoning. Nor is Stoicism about passivity. It's not just accept everything and do nothing. It's about acting wisely within your sphere of control. For anxiety, this means acknowledging the feeling, understanding its source, and choosing how to respond. Now, let's get practical. Stoicism offers a toolbox of techniques to handle anxiety. I'll walk you through the most effective ones with examples and steps to apply them today. These aren't quick fixes, but practices that, with repetition, can transform how you experience anxiety. Step 1. Practice negative visualization, Premeditatio Malorum. What it is, negative visualization, or Premeditatio Malorum, involves imagining potential challenges or worst-case scenarios to prepare yourself mentally. This isn't about dwelling on doom, but reducing the fear of the unknown by facing it head-on. Why it helps. Anxiety thrives on uncertainty. By visualizing what could go wrong, you demystify it and realize it's often not as bad as you fear. Seneca wrote, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." This practice builds resilience and reduces the emotional charge of potential setbacks. How to do it. Set aside 5 to 10 minutes in a quiet space. Think of an upcoming situation that's causing anxiety. Say a public speech. Imagine specific challenges, forgetting your lines, the audience looking bored, or technical issues. Ask, what's the worst that could happen? Maybe you stumble over words or the projector fails. Picture these vividly but calmly. Plan your response. If you forget your lines, you'll pause, take a breath, and continue. If the projector fails, you'll rely on your notes. Focus on what you can control. Reflect on the outcome. Even if the worst happens, you'll survive. This reduces the stakes in your mind. Example: Sarah, a 30-year-old marketing manager, was anxious about presenting to her company's board. She practiced negative visualization by imagining tripping over her words or facing tough questions. She prepared answers and practiced her delivery. When the presentation happened, she felt calmer because she'd already lived the worst-case scenario in her mind. Step 2. Reframe your thoughts. Cognitive distancing. What it is. Cognitive distancing involves stepping back from your thoughts and examining them objectively. The Stoics believed our judgments, not events, cause distress. By questioning your thoughts, you can reframe anxiety-provoking situations. Why it helps. Anxiety often comes from distorted thinking, like assuming a small mistake will ruin your career. Reframing helps you see events more clearly, reducing their emotional grip. How to do it. Notice when you're anxious and identify the thought behind it. For example, if I fail this exam, my future is over. Ask, is this thought true? Challenge it with evidence. Have you failed before and still succeeded? Are there other paths to your goals? Reframe the thought. Instead of, my future is over, try, this exam is one step. If I don't do well, I can study harder or explore other options. Focus on action. What can you do now to improve your outcome? Study, seek help, or rest to perform better? Example: John, a college student, was anxious about failing a final exam. He caught himself thinking, "If I fail, I'll never get a good job." By questioning this, he realized one exam wouldn't define his career. He reframed it as, "This is a chance to learn and grow," and focused on studying effectively. His anxiety eased, and he performed better. Step 3. Focus on the present moment. What it is, Stoicism emphasizes living in the now, as the past is gone and the future is uncertain. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Why it helps. Anxiety often pulls us into regrets about the past or fears about the future. By anchoring yourself in the present, you reduce mental clutter and find clarity. How to do it? When anxiety spikes, pause and take a few deep breaths. Notice your surroundings, sounds, textures, or smells. This grounds you in the moment. Ask, "What can I do right now?" If you're worried about a deadline, focus on the next task, not the outcome. Practice gratitude for the present. Even in tough moments, find something small to appreciate: a warm coffee, a kind word, or simply being alive. Example: Maria, a single mom, felt overwhelmed by bills and work stress. She started practicing present moment focus by pausing to notice her kids' laughter or the taste of her morning tea. This didn't solve her problems, but gave her moments of peace to tackle them with a clearer mind. Step 4. Practice Amor Fati, love of fate. What it is, Amor Fati means embracing whatever happens, even challenges as necessary and beneficial. Nietzsche, inspired by Stoicism, called it loving one's fate. Why it helps. Anxiety often comes from resisting reality, wishing things were different. By accepting life as it is, you reduce inner conflict and find peace. How to do it? When something bad happens, pause and say, "This is part of my journey." Look for the opportunity in the challenge. A job loss might lead to a better career path. A conflict might teach you patience. Act within your control. Acceptance doesn't mean passivity, it means working with reality, not against it. Example: Tom lost his job in a 2025 tech layoff. Instead of spiraling into anxiety, he practiced Amor Fati by accepting the situation and asking, "What's next?" He used the time to learn new skills, which led to a better role. Step 5. Journal for self-reflection. What it is, Stoics, like Marcus Aurelius, used writing to clarify their thoughts and reinforce their principles. His Meditations is essentially a personal journal. Why it helps. Journaling helps you process anxiety, identify triggers, and reinforce Stoic practices. It's a space to be honest with yourself. How to do it? Set aside 10 minutes daily, ideally in the morning or evening. Write about what's causing anxiety. Be specific. What happened, how you felt, and why. Apply Stoic principles. Ask, what's in my control? How can I reframe this? What's the worst that could happen? End with a positive intention like, today I'll focus on doing my best, not being perfect. Example: Lisa, a teacher, journaled about her anxiety over parent-teacher meetings. By writing, she realized her fear stemmed from wanting everyone's approval. She reframed it as, I can't control their opinions, but I can be prepared and kind. Her anxiety lessened, and she felt more confident. Step 6. Practice virtuous action. What it is, Stoicism emphasizes living with virtue wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance. Acting virtuously aligns your actions with your values, reducing anxiety caused by inner conflict. Why it helps. Anxiety often comes from feeling misaligned with our values or powerless. Acting with integrity gives you a sense of purpose and control. How to do it. Identify a situation causing anxiety, like a conflict with a friend. Choose a virtue to guide your response. For example, courage to have an honest conversation, or justice to listen fairly. Take action, even if it's small. Apologize, clarify, or set boundaries. Reflect on how acting virtuously feels. It often brings peace, even if the outcome isn't perfect. Example: Alex was anxious about confronting a coworker who took credit for his work. He chose justice and calmly addressed the issue. The outcome wasn't perfect, but he felt proud of acting with integrity, reducing his anxiety. Applying Stoicism to everyday anxiety. Triggers now. Let's apply these techniques to common anxiety triggers in 2025. I'll cover work, relationships, social media, and uncertainty about the future with examples and Stoic strategies. Work and career anxiety. Work is a major anxiety trigger. Deadlines, performance reviews, or job insecurity can keep us up at night. In 2025, with AI and automation reshaping industries, many feel uncertain about their careers. Stoic strategy. Use the dichotomy of control and negative visualization. Focus on your effort preparing for a meeting, learning a new skill, or networking. Visualize worst-case scenarios like missing a deadline and plan your response. Communicate early, prioritize tasks, or seek feedback. Marcus Aurelius said, "Do what is necessary, and whatever the reason of a social animal requires, and as it requires." Focus on doing your duty well, not on outcomes. Example: Priya, a software developer, was anxious about her company adopting AI tools that might replace her role. She used negative visualization to imagine being laid off and planned to upskill in AI integration. By focusing on learning, in her control, her anxiety became motivation. Relationship anxiety. Whether it's romantic, family, or friendships, relationships can spark anxiety, fear of rejection, conflict, or not being enough. Social pressures in 2025, like curated online personas, amplify this. Stoic strategy. Practice Amor Fati and virtuous action. Accept that you can't control others' feelings or actions, only your own. Act with kindness and honesty, even in tough conversations. Reframe conflicts as opportunities to practice patience or courage. Epictetus said, "You become what you give your attention to." Focus on being a good partner or friend, not on others' approval. Example: James was anxious about his partner's distant behavior. He practiced Amor Fati by accepting their mood wasn't fully in his control. He chose courage to ask about it calmly, strengthening their communication and easing his worry. Social media and comparison. In 2025, platforms like X can fuel anxiety through comparison or fear of missing out. Seeing others' highlight reels can make us feel inadequate. Stoic strategy. Reframe your thoughts and focus on the present. When you feel inferior, ask, "Is this post the full story?" People curate their lives online. Focus on your own path. Limit screen time to stay present. Seneca advised, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Don't let likes or followers define your worth." Example: Emma felt anxious comparing her career to influencers on X. She reframed her thoughts. Their posts don't show their struggles. She limited scrolling to 20 minutes daily and journaled about her own goals, reducing her anxiety. Uncertainty about the future. Global issues, climate change, economic shifts, or political unrest can make the future feel daunting. In 2025, constant news updates keep these fears front and center. Stoic strategy. Use the dichotomy of control and Amor Fati. You can't control global events, but you can control your response: voting, volunteering, or educating yourself. Embrace uncertainty as part of life's adventure. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The universe is change. Our life is what our thoughts make it. Focus on making a difference where you can." Example: David was anxious about climate change headlines. He focused on what he could control, reducing waste, supporting green initiatives, and accepted that global outcomes were beyond him. His anxiety lessened as he felt purposeful. Building a Stoic practice for long-term resilience. Stoicism isn't a one-time fix, it's a way of life. To make it a habit, integrate these practices into your daily routine. Here's how to build a Stoic practice for lasting anxiety management. Create a morning routine. Start your day with Stoic reflection to set a calm tone. Spend 5 to 10 minutes journaling or meditating on a Stoic quote, like, "There is only one way to happiness, and that is to cease worrying about things which are beyond the power of our will." Epictetus. Plan one virtuous action for the day, like being patient in a meeting. Reflect at night, end your day with a Stoic evening review. What did I do well today? Where did I fall short of my values? How can I improve tomorrow? This helps you process anxiety and grow. Seneca practiced this, reflecting on his actions to align with virtue. Build a support system. Share Stoic ideas with friends or join online communities like Stoic groups on X. Discussing challenges with others reinforces your practice and provides perspective. Stay consistent. Consistency trumps intensity. Practice one technique, daily negative visualization in the morning, reframing thoughts during stress or gratitude at night. Over time, these become second nature, reducing anxiety's hold. Example: Rachel, a nurse, built a Stoic routine by journaling every morning about what she could control that day. At night, she reviewed her actions, noting when she was patient with difficult patients. Over months, her anxiety about work stress decreased significantly. Anxiety is part of being human, but it doesn't have to control you. Stoicism offers timeless tools to navigate life's uncertainties with courage and clarity. By focusing on what you can control, reframing your thoughts, and acting with virtue, you can transform anxiety from a burden into an opportunity for growth. In 2025, as we face a complex world, Stoicism's wisdom is more relevant than ever. Start small, pick one technique, like negative visualization or journaling, and practice it for a week. Notice how it shifts your perspective. Over time, these practices build a resilient mindset that not only manages anxiety, but helps you live a more fulfilling life. As Marcus Aurelius said, "If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it." Live with intention and let Stoicism guide you to peace. Thank you for joining me on this journey. Here's to facing anxiety with Stoic strength and finding calm in the chaos. Until next time, stay grateful, stay purposeful, and keep shining.